Another issue we're going to be tracking with Gerald Celente is the increased crime we're seeing, and the government's been caught trying to spin those numbers as well. We're seeing big calls for internet censorship. Google was in the Wall Street Journal 2 days ago. They had a big report where they're being caught not just censoring alternative news, but also their competition. Google really needs to be replaced, like MySpace or other things that become draconian. It's time to leave Google. It's time to start the exodus away from that big brother institution. We've got Gerald Celente joining us. He has been saying for at least 2 years on my show, it's going to be off with their heads. And I remember him, it's got to be 6 months ago. In fact, if listeners can pull it up, I've seen him on national TV too, the same thing. Going into December, I mean, I hate to imitate you, but I mean, you can imitate me. It's just, I'm trying to give the exact, flavor of what you said. It's going to be off with their heads. Going into December, going into 2011, it's going to be revolution by 2012. I mean, you've said that over and over again, and now it's off with their heads. A spontaneous riot attacking the Duchess of Twitliness and the Prince of Corruption.
Yeah, and we're going to keep seeing it. I'll give you another one, Alex. 2 weeks ago, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, the New York Times, the toilet paper of record, wrote a feature story in the magazine section on America's least hated banker, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase. The guy, as you're reading this story, this puff piece, all the way into it, he said, oh, by the way, my mommy and daddy, my mommy's good friends with the Dimon family. Just a little note. Yeah, so then you read this puff piece and then go to the New York Times website. Read the story and then look at the comments. One scathing comment after another. What a suck-up and brown-nose of this guy Lowenstein who wrote the story is. What a disgusting character Jamie Dimon is. It got so bad that they stopped having comments coming in after 138 of them. I think probably the only good comment was this guy Lowenstein's mother, who's good friends with Jamie Dimon's family. So when you read this stuff and you see the anger out there, it's real. But here's the other side. Look how those brave bobbies beat up all those students. Did you see the one from the BBC where they grabbed this guy out of a wheelchair and dragged him across the pavement? And this disgusting interviewer on the BBC is saying to the guy, you got to see it. Well, they said that you were rolling at them, the police. And if you think the media in this country is servile, you got to look at theirs. It's just as bad. So what they're going to do is they're going to keep coming harder and harder down on the people to stop the revolution. So that's what we're up against. It's going to be a cyber war, and it's going to be the real war. It's going to be the government crackdowns and the people trying to rise up. It's no different than any other revolution.
I'm glad you raised that issue because I want to discuss what you see happening in the next year, what's going to happen in the economy, but also the government and the Fortune 100 response to it, but also what you expect to see the population do. But I make these hardcore, scathing videos about the banking system, about the telescreens going in Walmart, telling citizens to spy on each other and spy on other shoppers. I mean, it's right out of 1984. And if you click on the YouTube like or dislike, depending on the video, it'll be 3,000 likes next to 50-something or 100-something dislikes. I mean, it's literally 95% of people agree with me and disagree with the government. Then if you go to the Homeland Security official webpage, per video, it will be thousands of dislikes and every comment hating them and saying, we know you're the terrorist, we know you're staging the events, why don't you report on yourselves? And almost no one liking. In fact, there it is on screen of one of my videos with close to 300,000 views. The title of the video, if folks want to go look at it, is Walmart Invasion, part of larger DHS takeover of America. There is 1,733 likes, 94 dislikes. Now, again, you go over to the Homeland Security website, and it's the flip of that, and you read the comments, everyone gets it. You know, they're saying, you want us to not trust each other. You want us to spy. This is like Nazi Germany or East Germany or Russia. Hey, I want to report on Chertoff ordering the naked body scanners and then making money off of them. I mean, people are really getting educated. There's an explosive awakening happening, and they are saying off with their heads. I'm concerned, though, and I've seen the government provocateur to try to start something violent so they have a pretext to clamp down. But I want to warn the government. This could backfire on you trying to start a fight or staging terror attacks like a new Oklahoma City to blame it on the Liberty Movement. Your comment on the awakening, when you see it really going to flashpoint, and how you see the establishment countering us, Gerald Celente.
You know, my saying as a Bronx boy, when people lose everything and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it. And they're losing it because they're losing their homes. They're losing their jobs. These guys, these people getting and women getting out of college, again, with these degrees in worthlessness, they can't find jobs. You think they're angry, and they got all that testosterone running through these guys. You think they're going to take to the streets and take it out on somebody? When is it going to happen? It's going to happen when people finally wake up to the reality that the dollar isn't going to be worth a dime. That all they've saved, they've saved for nothing. They find out that the rich, as we've seen, and I love it now. Now that I've been saying this, I don't know how many years, that the gap between the rich and the poor is the widest in the U.S. than any of the industrialized nations. Now, just now, mainstream media is finally saying that. So as they see the richer get richer and them getting poorer, what do they have to lose by taking to the streets? Nothing. So what we're going to look at and I want to make this clear also. We predicted the crash of 2010. It's in the Trends Journal. It was a top trend that came out last December, a year ago. We made it perfectly clear it would not be an equity market crash because it was a rigged market and it was going to be cheap interest rates that keep floating this. And we also said there would be schemes undreamed of that would keep propping it up. And we saw the scheme that just came out as a result of the Dodd-Frank bill that the Federal Reserve has loaned, and under the table dealt over $13 trillion all over the world to all different kinds of companies. General Electric, Harley-Davidson, McDonald's, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, the Tokyo Banks, Bank of England. The con game is that they're conning us with the bank deals. So, yeah, they're propping it up, but what we're saying is that it's collapsed. And the headline story, Alex, for the Trends Journal's top trends that are coming out in a few weeks for 2011 is Wake Up Call 2011. Only the blind, the inept, the ideologically driven, and little kids aren't going to know the deal. And the deal is this. Europe has collapsed. There is no EU. It's gone. They're not going to be able to bail out Portugal. They won't be able to bail out Spain. Ireland is toast. They're not going to be able to salvage Italy with its 120% of debt to GDP ratio. They won't salvage Greece. The Germans are going to go off on their own. There's going to be a global currency crisis. It's happening in front of us. Why do you think why can't they wake up and see why gold is trading at $1,400 an ounce? There is no end in sight, but the end will come when the markets collapse, and we believe that there's going to be a global financial crisis, a crack up in 2011 that people will no longer be able to deny, and the world banks will no longer be able to cover up by printing more of their digital money that's not worth the paper it's not printed on.
Well, Gerald, we know that the mega central banks have wanted to consolidate power, but now they're getting desperate. They realize they've destroyed things so bad, they're finally actually trying to cut taxes, but it looks like too little too late. But here's the model. Here is the Ireland banks are all for sale. Central banker, this is out of CNBC, and he went on to say, they are for sale as far as I'm concerned. I've always been an advocate for foreign banks to own small countries. And he goes on here, this is their central banker. They told him a year ago they had the best economy in Europe. They set him up, they brought him in, and I've seen it in the German news. The Germans are saying they're getting ready to leave the euro if this continues, and I've seen the financial breakdowns. This is mathematically impossible to pay back, and the system knows that, so they're just trying to suck as much as they can while telling everybody that everything's fine.
Exactly. And by the way, that's where this whole WikiLeaks thing comes in. I don't know if you saw the video of me on Fox about a week and a half ago when the WikiLeaks story broke, and how they set me up. They had 4 against me. And
stay there. Tell us about it when we get back. I didn't see it. I mean, you're on so much television, I miss a lot of it, but I did see it linked on our site, but I didn't have a chance to watch it. Tell us about that. We'll get into this. Congressman saying the Congress is there to serve the banks. You can't make this up. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Gerald Celente.